Hi everybody, I'm Bree the Plant Lady, and today I'm going to replant my wall for the summer season. Now, I had high expectations that I would already be harvesting broccoli, and it's nowhere near getting to the flowering stage, but I'm not going to waste it. I'm going to transplant it from here and put it out into the garden. More than likely, it'll get eaten by deer, because let's face it, that's my fate. But I went plant shopping this week and I picked up quite a few coleus, and I'd really like to have it replanted for Saturday's open garden so people can see up close and personal what it's going to look like for the summer. So I hope you'll enjoy this quick video of getting my live screen from livewall.com replanted. So I don't really have one area where all these broccolis really fit. So I'm just looking for areas with open ground plane, kind of underutilized area. And here at the fire pit bed, again, these are probably only going to be in the ground a month at the most. And I have very low expectations for getting them to actually go to flower. Once they get planted in the ground, they're just gets mowed down by deer. But I don't want to throw them out, so it just seems like the best solution. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop these in, and maybe in the meantime I'll also get some of the nutsedge out, which is all starting to grow. It's unbelievable how weeds are unaffected by droughts. Plants that you do want to grow totally struggle. And of course this broccoli is paired with some spinach that I seeded in, and well, there you have it. It's not very complicated. I just don't want to waste the plants, and again, filling an open space temporarily is always a good decision. Well, as you can see, I got a lot of those broccolis planted here, an area that really just had this sedum encroaching, so I just pulled some of it away. The problem is, and I think the reason that these haven't grown better, is I found root mealybugs on them. And I should have taken a picture, and I didn't. I'm not going to dig them up to show you. They look just like regular mealybugs, just covering the root ball. So I've gone ahead and treated all those containers with bleach in an effort to absolutely kill their life cycle. So root mealybugs are slightly different from foliar mealybugs because root mealybugs only live on, like, under the ground on the roots. And if I was treating the plants, which I'm not, I just went ahead and planted them in the ground, because they're not going to live much longer anyway. You would want to do an insecticidal soap drench or hot water drench, or more effectively, not better for the environment, but treat the plants with imidacloprid, which is a systemic insecticide. I've just treated the containers that were infected with a 10% bleach solution, and then I'm gonna basically power wash them out to make sure that there's no residue left. I've only had root mealybugs a handful of times, and it's typically something that you buy from a nursery that doesn't have a proper IPM practice. So I'm always really conscientious, and like, I'm about to plant all these coleus and I haven't actually looked at the roots. So let's check them out, see if they're clean. So these are clean. So you can see little white specks, that's perlite. That's not root mealybugs. The mealybugs are fluffy, just like they are when they're on the foliage. So they look pretty obvious. Shout out to Big Bloomers, which is where I got all the coleus this year. Fantastic nursery. If you live in central North Carolina or even further away, it's well worth a visit. Not only do they have amazing selection, but really great prices. But anyhow, I've never had a root mealybug issue when I've purchased plants from Big Bloomers. And that was part of my motivation for buying these from there, because last year I had a huge mealybug problem, foliar mealybugs. And it came in on trial plants from not a nursery anywhere near here. And so this year I'm like really being diligent to make sure that that doesn't happen again, because honestly, once you have them, they're really difficult to eradicate. And I don't want to have another summer of dealing with that gross pest. And just to show you guys root mealybugs, this is not as severe of a case as some of the others, but you see how they look cobwebby? Almost looks like mildew, but that's actually root mealybugs. So you can see when you get in there, population keeps the soil dry because they're absorbing all the water. And they're sucking nutrients from the plants, causing everything to grow with a lot less vigor. It's taken me all day long, but I've gotten a lot of other stuff done. But I'm finally at the stage where I can get the wall replanted with all of the coleus. Now, unfortunately, they didn't have enough of every variety to do exactly what I was aiming for. But I saw some places at the farmer's market in Raleigh that do have more coleus. So I'm gonna plant what I can, and then I'm gonna see if I need to go up to the market tomorrow to finish this project, because I really like when it's one variety all the way across. It looks super uniform, and then they grow really densely, and you don't even see that there's a frame. And that's what I really want it to look like this year. So I'm gonna use what I have and then see if I need to buy more. I think I need to buy more. Also, I'm just like on a roll going plant shopping, so that's part of it. So I've gotten all but the bottom row of one side planted because I had gotten enough cultivars with 6 of each. And now I have 3 of each. And the problem with that, and this is totally just a Bree thing, maybe not, I'm sure there's others out there who visualize things the same way, but I can't do 3 and 3 because it won't be even. And if I had done 4 of each, I could have done like 2 and then 2 more, and that maybe would have made sense. But instead, and I don't know what I was thinking. I think part of it was that just they were getting low on coleus. But like I have 3 of these. That's not enough to do a row, and it's not enough to, like, I guess I could do 3 and then 2 of something, but it's just, it's not, because I usually do 2 in each tray, so there's 6 across. And it's like, if I don't make it even, I'll notice it all summer long. I'll be bothered by it every day when I walk into the greenhouse. So I just can't figure out how to, and like the thing is, this one is going to be shorter, bushier. This is a really tall one. I think this is religious radish. So mixing them, it'll look really uneven in the row. This is just a plant buying fail, that's all. That just means I have to go to the market and buy more. These will totally get absorbed into the garden, but I don't think they're destined for the wall. Well, you would have thought that I was coming up with the equation to solve world hunger with the amount of effort it took to get these combinations made. This side makes sense. Every row is a different variety of coleus. There's 6 coleus per row. I think that is the side I'm gonna see, and it's the side that makes the most sense, and that's great. This side took some more effort, and it's not straight lines, which is what I love, but I think it's gonna look cool. And if it doesn't, I can always just replant it. I just didn't really wanna have to go shopping again, trying to get rid of plants by having the open garden, not buy more. And I bought a lot over the weekend. So I've got a mixed batch of coleus across the top, and then coleus and carex in the next layer, bad hair day mangave across the middle, and then more coleus carex, and then the bottom row is plectranthus. The reason I did bottom row plectranthus on both sides is because the deer don't like the flavor of plectranthus, and so I'm hoping that that helps deter them from nibbling on this, because, well, like everything, it's right out here in the open, super accessible for the deer to access. Well, everybody, I hope you'll be inspired by this quick replanting of my vertical system. I'm going to drop the link in the description because it's a really, really great thing. I've had it for more than a decade. I keep it planted year round and it self-irrigates. This is the live screen because it's actually on wheels and I can just move it around. But if you're interested in growing vertically, this for me has been the easiest system to use, and so I highly recommend it. Well, I do hope that you will subscribe and plan to continue to tune in so that you can see how this grows out for the summer of 2026. As always, thanks for watching and happy gardening, everybody.